Many of us have, at some point in our lives, felt drawn to someone who seemed confident and self-assured, only to discover that beneath the surface, they are secretly insecure and desperate for validation. But what's driving this phenomenon, and how does someone so seemingly secure be so utterly lacking in self-confidence? I've seen this pattern play out in friends, family members, and even myself, the same awkward, desperate behavior when we're rejected or when we fear being replaced. Join me as we unmask the hidden truth behind the dark forces driving insecurity, power, attraction, and relationships, and gain a deeper understanding of the unspoken dynamics that shape our most intimate connections. Insecurity often masquerades as confidence, fueling the ego's insatiable need for validation and control. But beneath the facade, there lies a primal desire to be seen and accepted, a desperate cry for connection that's been stifled by past rejections and fears. Behind every manipulative tactic, a wounded soul screams for empathy and understanding. We try to control how others perceive us, but unconsciously, we're searching for a reflection of our own self-worth in their eyes. At the heart of our insecurities lies a deep-seated fear of rejection, a fear so piercing that it prompts us to don an array of masks in the hopes of attracting validation. Ultimately, we're not fighting for power, attraction, or relationships. We're fighting to be whole, to be seen, and to be loved. When we try to mask our own insecurities, we often attempt to control those around us to validate our own self-worth. But in the process, we only manage to undermine trust and create deeper power imbalances. Insecurity thrives on the fear of rejection, and this fear can drive us to manipulate others into giving us the attention and validation we crave, but at the cost of our own authenticity and genuine connection. What we see as confidence in others is often nothing more than a cleverly crafted illusion, a carefully constructed facade to hide their own insecurities and the fear of being truly seen and understood. People who are secure in their own worth are often the most attractive, not because of any external validation, but because they radiate self-assurance, a sense of calm, and unwavering self-truth. We may think we're drawn to a charismatic leader or a magnetic personality, but often we're actually drawn to the validation that this person seems to embody, the sense of security and belonging that they appear to offer. Behind the facade of a confident ego, insecurity and self-doubt can be festering, driving individuals to prioritize their own power and validation above all else, and often causing them to lose touch with their own sense of purpose and authenticity. When we're driven by insecurity, we often seek validation in the most toxic ways, pretending to be something we're not, all in the name of getting attention and acceptance from others. But beneath the surface, this desperate need for validation stems from a far more sinister motive: the quest for control, as we try to orchestrate outcomes and manipulate people into perceiving us in a certain way. The paradox is that we often use insecurity as a lure, intentionally playing the victim or the weak link, hoping to elicit a response from others, all while secretly craving power and dominance. Insecurity, we're faced with an uncomfortable reality that we've been chasing validation from the wrong people, and that our real value lies not in their opinion, but in our own self-worth. By projecting our own fears and insecurities onto others, we create a fragile facade, one that can be easily shattered by the slightest criticism or rejection, leaving us vulnerable and exposed. Behind our charismatic facade, we often hide a deep-seated fear of being unlovable, unattractive, or unworthy, and it's this primal fear that drives us to constantly seek external validation, rather than cultivating a genuine sense of self-love and self-acceptance. Here are 6 insightful spoken sentences for the section, "The Hidden Strings: How Insecurity Ties Us to Toxic Patterns and Self-Deception." Insecurity is the puppet master, expertly manipulating our deepest fears to orchestrate a desperate quest for validation, and we often find ourselves dancing on the strings of someone else's approval. When we tie our self-worth to external validation, we essentially become hostages to our own fragility, constantly seeking external validation to soothe the void within, rather than facing the truth of our own worth. Our insecurities are often cleverly masqueraded as confidence, camouflaged by a false sense of security that we desperately cling to. But in reality, it's merely a fragile shield that we deploy to deflect any perceived threat to our ego. Toxic patterns in our relationships often stem from a deep-seated desire for control, which is rooted in the fear of being powerless and vulnerable. And we unconsciously seek out relationships that mirror this same dynamic, perpetuating the cycle of fear and control. At the heart of attraction lies a complex web of insecurities and fears, where we unconsciously seek out individuals who can validate our worth and soothe our deepest anxieties, rather than being drawn to someone's true essence. The irony is that our attempts to escape our insecurities through external validation and control only serve to further entangle us in a web of self-deception, where we become experts at rationalizing our toxic patterns and justifying the very behaviors that contribute to our own suffering. Our need for validation and control can often masquerade as confidence, but beneath the surface, insecurity quietly orchestrates our most significant relationships and interactions. When we prioritize external validation over self-awareness, we become prisoners of other people's opinions, and our emotional intimacy remains superficial at best. At the heart of our desire to attract and be attractive lies a fundamental fear, the fear of being rejected and unlovable. It's a shadowy voice that can either consume us or propel us towards authenticity. We think we're pursuing power, but often we're desperately seeking validation, a sense of belonging, or a fleeting high from another person's approval. It's in this pursuit that we perpetuate the cycle of insecurity. The ego's insatiable hunger for praise and admiration is a clever disguise for our deep-seated insecurity, a constant need to prove to ourselves and others that we're worthy. Yet, in this endless pursuit, we sacrifice our true nature and emotional integrity. Through our self-deception, we've become adept at presenting a polished mask to the world. But it's this very facade that conceals our true vulnerability and the freedom to be authentic, to be fully seen and accepted for who we truly are. The veil has been lifted, and we've seen the unsettling truth: insecurity's insidious grasp manipulates even the most powerful among us. Now take a moment to reflect on the insights we've uncovered. Did they resonate with you? I want to hear from you, so comment below with your observations, like this video if it resonates, and subscribe for more unflinching explorations of the human psyche.